In the hushed glow of a Los Angeles therapy room, where sunlight filters through sheer curtains like hesitant grace notes, we step into the soul-bearing premiere of Unlocked, Family Secrets Season 1, Episode 1, The Preacher's Secret, aired on OWN on September 27, 2025. A docuseries that unlocks the vault of generational silence with unflinching tenderness, centering on Lydia Meredith, a 58-year-old former pastor's wife whose 25-year vigil over her family's hidden truths nearly shattered her faith, her family, and her sense of self. Lydia, seated on a plush armchair with a posture honed by decades of poised pulpit smiles, her silver-streaked hair framing eyes that have seen both divine light and human shadow, begins her confession with a voice steady yet laced with tremor. For 25 years, I was the keeper of a secret that poisoned everything in my husband's with hidden life, our son's unspoken pain, and a church that preached love but practiced judgment. The episode opens with archival footage of the Merediths in their Atlanta heyday. Dennis Meredith, the charismatic megachurch pastor, commanding thousands with sermons on redemption and traditional marriage, his baritone booming like thunder from a polished pulpit, while Lydia, the epitome of Southern elegance in pastel suits and pearl necklaces, stands steadfast beside him, cradling their three young sons amid the congregation's adoring gaze. But the facade cracks early, as Lydia recounts the first fissure in the early 2000s, a late-night whisper from Dennis during a rain-lashed drive home from a revival. His confession spilling like a dam burst to Lydia. "I've lived a double life. I'm a gay, and I've betrayed us both." A revelation born from his own repressed childhood in a strict Baptist enclave, where sexuality was branded as sin and survival meant suppression. The camera lingers on Lydia's face in present-day retelling, tears tracing familiar paths, as she describes the immediate vertigo, propping up their ministry's facade while her heart hemorrhaged in secret, attending couples counseling alone, and shielding their sons from the whispers that slithered through the church halls. Flashbacks intercut with home videos of family barbecues, now laced with poignant irony. Young Dennis Jr., the artistic eldest son, sketching quietly in corners, his sensitivity a subtle harbinger of his own truth. The dual secret compounds when Dennis Jr., at 22, mirrors his father's confession during a tense family Easter dinner in 2010, his letter trembling in hand. "Mom, Dad and I share these. We're both gay, and I can't hide anymore." Lydia's world tilts again, the hypocrisy of her role as the perfect pastor's wife in a congregation that railed against LGBTQ lives becoming a noose around her neck, forcing her to navigate isolation, depression, and the terror of exposure that could topple their 5,000-member church. Expert therapists chime in, explaining the psychological toll of such repression and elevated rates of anxiety and suicidal ideation in religious families. While Lydia shares her early coping, journaling frantic prayers for guidance, confiding in a single trusted friend during midnight walks, and enduring Dennis's tearful pleas for silence to protect the flock. Fan reactions on X flood in post-premiere, without faith unfiltered tweeting, Lydia's 25-year silence in #Unlocked Family Secrets is heartbreaking. How many families live this lie? The episode's emotional anchor lands in Lydia's solo reflection by a window overlooking the city, her voice a quiet storm. "I chose protection over truth, and it cost me my joy, but secrets are thieves, stealing souls in the night." This opening act sets a tone of quiet devastation and budding liberation, illustrating how faith's rigid armor can wound the very hearts it vows to shield, leaving viewers gripped by Lydia's courage to finally turn the key, one unlocked memory at a time. As the Los Angeles therapy room fills with a weight of unearthed pain, The Preacher's Secret delves deeper into the suffocating labyrinth of Lydia Meredith's guarded life, transforming her confessional into a mirror for the hidden hypocrisies that fractured her marriage, motherhood, and ministry. Lydia, her hands clasped like a prayer unanswered, recounts the immediate fallout of Dennis's early 2000s revelation, a clandestine pact forged in their Atlanta master bedroom, where he vowed fidelity to her while seeking anonymous solace in shadowed encounters, his pastoral duties by day a mask for nocturnal torment, all while Lydia became the invisible architect of their deception, curating his schedule to dodge suspicion, silencing her own doubts with scripture on forgiveness. "I told myself it was for the boys. Or the church. she whispers, her voice cracking like thin ice, as archival clips show Dennis at the helm of revivals, his charisma smokescreen for self-loathing rooted in a youth spent in conversion prayer circles that branded his desires as demonic. The camera cuts to the compounded agony of Dennis Jr.'s 2010 confession, a parallel wound that echoed like thunder in their Easter silence. At 22, amid turkey and tension, he slid a letter across the table. His words a fragile Bridgie Mom, like Dad, I'm gay. We've both hidden to survive this house of God. A moment that doubled Lydia's isolation, as she shuttled between consoling her son's terror of eternal damnation and enforcing Dennis's plea for continued secrecy to safeguard his pulpit empire. Flashbacks weaving the Meredith's gilded cage, opulent church banquets where Lydia smiled through gritted teeth as Dennis preached against the sin of Sodom, her son's youth group retreats laced with anti-LGBTQ rhetoric that Dennis Jr. endured like poison, and family vacations to the Smoky Mountains, now revealed as desperate bids for normalcy amid the lies. Lydia opens up about her unraveling, the 2008 scandal when anonymous emails exposed Dennis's affairs, triggering a congregational exodus of 2,000 members and financial freefall, forcing her to sell heirlooms to keep the lights on while Dennis retreated into denial. Interviews with Dennis, now 62 and leading an affirming Atlanta congregation of 1,200 LGBTQ worshippers, reveal his post-divorce metamorphosis. I deconstructed the dogma that caged me, but Lydia bore the chains alone. My regret is a lifetime sermon. The episode incorporates therapeutic insights, with counselors discussing the intergenerational drama of repressed identity, how such secrets foster codependency and spiritual sta, while Lydia shares her solitary therapy breakthroughs, journaling what if God's love is bigger than our fear? Amid nights of sobbing prayer, the bells of her inner circle lead to lifelong friends emerge in poignant vignettes, their clandestine coffee meetups where Lydia finally voiced her fracture. How do I love a God who seems to curse my family twice? Fan discourse on X surges, with at Soul Unlocked tweeting, Dennis Jr.'s letter seen in #Unlocked Family Secrets wrecked me. Lydia's grace is divine. The segment builds to a mediated family session, where Lydia confronts Dennis, you preached salvation but starved us of honesty. His apology a halting hymn of remorse. This middle act captures the episode's visceral core, the slow suffocation of a life built on borrowed truth, with Lydia's journey from silent sentinel to emerging voice a beacon for those still locked in similar vaults, leaving viewers haunted by the human cost of holy hypocrisy. The therapy room's soft light yields to the stark fluorescence of reckoning as the preacher's secret unspools the cascading fallout of Lydia Meredith's stew of family revelations, turning her Los Angeles sanctuary into a forge for forgiveness amid the ashes of Atlanta's fallen empire. Lydia, her silver hair catching the lamp's glow like threads of reclaimed wisdom, details the church's 2008 implosion, the leaked emails detailing Dennis's encounters with men from his congregation igniting a firestorm of board meetings and betrayal, with deacons demanding his resignation and Lydia fielding hate mail labeling her the enabler of evil. Her role as the unflappable First Lady, now a scarlet letter she wore in silence to shield their sons from the storm. I became the villain in our own gospel, she says, her voice a quiet quake, as clips show paparazzi swarming their driveway. Dennis Jr. at 18 shielding his face from flashes that branded him with his father's shame before he could claim his own. The episode pivots to Dennis Jr.'s post-confession spiral. At 22, his coming out unleashed a torrent of family fracture as the younger brothers recoiling in confusion, echoing the church's love the sinner mantra that rang hollow and Lydia's desperate mediation, hosting fraught dinners where she balanced scripture's condemnation with her son's humanity, her heart a battlefield of maternal love and doctrinal doubt. Therapeutic vignettes illuminate the toll, Lydia's individual sessions unpacking her codependency, where she confronted the childhood programming that equated marriage with martyrdom. Dennis Jr.'s raw recounting of internalized homophobia, his suicide ideation quelled only by a clandestine support group, and Dennis's halting evolution, from denial to his 2012 public coming out that cost him his pulpit but birthed his affirming ministry. Lydia shares the divorce's double-edged sword in 2013, financial ruin from lost tithes forcing her to waitress at 50. yet a liberation that allowed her to pursue a master's in theology. Reframing Leviticus through lenses of compassion and emerging as an advocate via her 2015 memoir The Gay Preacher's Wife. Experts weigh in on the ripple effects of studies showing 40% higher depression rates in spouses of closeted LGBTQ partners. So while Lydia's inner circle, two Atlanta confidants, recounts their role as underground allies, smuggling her to therapy under the guise of ladies' luncheons, the climax arrives in a family reconciliation circle, filmed in a sun-dappled park. Dennis Jr., now 37 and a graphic designer in queer advocacy, hugs Lydia with "You saved me by staying silent then, but freed us by speaking now." Dennis, voice thick, apologizes. "I hid to lead, but lost my why. Thank you for holding the light." Ex-fans connect profoundly with that truth and faith, tweeting, "The Meredith Park Circle in #Unlocked Family Secrets is healing porn, a generational curse is broken." This act resonates as the episode's emotional pinnacle, the unspooling of secrets as a sacred surgery, excising shame to reveal scarred but resilient bonds, leaving viewers moved by Lydia's metamorphosis from guardian of ghosts to herald of honesty. As the preacher's secret fades to its luminous close, Lydia Meredith's Los Angeles haven brims with the dawn of possibility. The therapy room, a womb for rebirth in Unlocked Family Secrets, where 25 years of shadowed truths yield to a symphony of reconciliation and redefined faith. Lydia, her eyes alight with hard-won peace, reflects on the divorce's unexpected gifts, co-parenting as equals post-2013, with Dennis funding their son's therapies from his affirming church's tithe. Now a thriving 1,500-member sanctuary marrying same-sex couples under rainbow banners. Dennis Jr., at 37, flourishing as a queer artist whose murals grace Atlanta's Pride festivals. His bond with Lydia, tapestry of late-night calls blending grief and giggles. "We lost the facade but found our family," she says, as clips montage their present holiday feasts with Dennis's husband, a gentle graphic designer, toasting Lydia's non-profit beacon of hope, which lifts impoverished queer youth from the poverty that once silenced her own and her younger sons. Now in their 30s, embracing their brother's truth with backyard barbecues free of judgment, the episode weaves in Lydia's theological triumph, her master's thesis on inclusive grace, challenging evangelical norms and birthing her TEDx talk on faith without facades, where she declares, "God's love isn't conditional, it's the key to every locked heart." Therapeutic closure arrives in a final family panel, sun-kissed in that same park. Dennis vows, "I led with lies, now I live in light. Thanks to you." Dennis Jr. affirms, "Mom, your silence protected, but your voice liberated." Lydia seals it. "Secrets were our prison, truth our pearly. A family isn't perfect, it's persistent." Experts offer hope, affirming environments/mental health risks by 50%, a statistic Lydia lives through beacons scholarships for LGBTQ kids in rural churches. Ex-fans hail the premiere's power, with at Unlocked Hearts tweeting, "Lydia's finale panel in #Unlocked Family Secrets is a sermon on second chances. OWN, you healed me tonight." OWN's production, a gentle dissolves from shadows to sunlight, gospel refrains swelling to triumphant chords, elevates the uplift, teasing season 1's arcs. Addiction vaults in episode 2, infidelity floods in 3. This finale isn't mere resolution, it's resurrection. Proving in the Meredith's unlocked legacy, faith evolves from fear to fierce embrace, leaving viewers transformed, ready to turn their own keys with Lydia's quiet drawer. The secret's out and now the story begins.